Hello, I'm John Lewis of ACRO. I'm joined today by Amy Hariani, who is Director and Legal Policy Counsel for the U.S.-India Business Council. Welcome, Amy.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. So, tell me about the U.S. IBC in general, and I know specifically you focus on the life sciences area there.
Yep. Yeah, so the U.S.-India Business Council is the largest bilateral trade organization between U.S. and India. And our companies focus almost exclusively on trade between the U.S. and India. We have about 350 companies in our membership, and that represents a cross-section of U.S. multinationals, but also the large Indian companies like Tata and Reliance, also that are investing here in the U.S.
And I think to date, most of the what we've had on the generic side from India on the manufacturing and development side, coming to the U.S. and a real global industry, and then on the U.S. side, more of the innovator drugs trying to get into the Indian market.
That's right.
But I think I saw today or yesterday that there's actually an Indian-developed new diabetes drug.
Yeah, so India really is, a lot of the Indian generics are really wanting to innovate and are the cusp and even now innovating. So in fact, there was a new diabetes drug, and I don't know the breakdown in terms of how much of the development was done in India versus other places, or if they took part of the research from somewhere else. I know another company, an Indian company, Ranbaxy, developed a malaria drug last year in conjunction with, I think, the NIH. So they really are on the cusp of innovation, and I do think Indians want to innovate, but part of what the challenge is, I think, is making sure you have the adequate infrastructure to support innovation, because as we know with innovation, not all inventions are going to succeed and be commercialized. So you're going to put a lot of upfront cost into developing that model and developing that innovation. At the end, it may actually not work out. But I think what our companies, innovative pharmaceutical companies, understand is that you invest in 10 projects with the hope that one actually comes to commercialization. So I think trying to explain the risk factor there, and really providing for the infrastructure for innovation, that if it fails, you're still going to be okay. We're still going to support you as a company, and you're still going to have successful business models. That element, I think, in an innovative ecosystem is important to stress.
I know this is a complicated question, but how would you describe the current state of the trade relationship between the two countries?
Yeah, I think not only is it complicated within industries, it's also complicated depending on political wishes and wills of people. India's just in the middle of an election cycle now. They'll be going to national polls before next year. We know in our own country when politics are, how that plays into the trade relationship. But I think no matter where we are in the political state of play or where we are industry via industry, there's a commitment on both sides to continue to really embrace the U.S.-India trade relationship for economic opportunities. I mean, India still, you can't ignore the market fundamentals of India. It's got 1.3 billion people. It's an emerging economy. It's got a lot of potential there, albeit maybe with some bumps on their way, as all emerging economies have, and even our own economy as well. But I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and the U.S. companies see that, regardless of some of the challenges. And Indian companies are equally as keen to continue investing in the U.S. and continuing the bilateral trade relationship. So our perspective really is that long term, it's still a really great bet. It's still a lot of opportunity. As long as you have some patience and vision for where you'll get there, I think it'll be a good bet for most companies. So the trade relationship, I think, is maturing. It's on its way to really becoming a solid partnership between the two countries.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think, as I said, I'm a big believer in the India relationship and the two-way trade. It's like any good marriage. There's some problems along the way, there's some challenges, but at the end of the day, I think it's worth it. And I think a lot of our companies see the long-term potential for India. They continue to invest with a long-term perspective and vision, and if they have the patience, I think the opportunity will really pay off for them. We have seen trade from 1991 until now increase about 50% year over year. So if you look at it even within a 20 or 30 year time frame, it still is a considerable opportunity. So I think if our companies are able to work with the government and we continue to be able to message some of these issues, they'll navigate their way through these tricky waters. But India is still a really great place to do business.
So if I want to find out more about the US IBC, where could I do that?
Well, we have a website, so it's www.usibc.com. We also have a Twitter account. It's under USIVC. You know, any way that they want to get in touch with us to get more information, feel free to do that. They can definitely follow us on Twitter and on our website to see what we're doing.
If you'd like more information about ACRO, you can visit our website at acrohealth.org and follow us on Twitter at acrohealth.